Hi guys, once again this is Iggy from Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Let's take a look at what we have here, and I'll try and unpack this slowly so that we can talk about each one. There's also a couple pictures I want to share with you from my Marx Civil War book. Now these are items I couldn't fit on the table with the last video. I wanted to show it to you with my other video that talked about Marx battlefield accessories. However, there just wasn't enough room. I'm operating on the kitchen table here. And Iggy doesn't have a medieval banquet hall to fit a large table, so we make do. It's okay. So, where should we start? That's a good question. Over here is a bunch of parts I didn't use. So we have the Chevaux de Frise, which came with the camp accessories. We have here 5 artillery pieces. That one's a little harder to see because it's gray. Let's come down here and take a look at this. Of course, everything you see is reproduction. Iggy can't afford to have original things. But I'm very happy to have these things and happy that I was able to get them. By the way, all this stuff is still available, so you don't need to miss out. This is cannon and caisson, and by the way, this comes from Classic Toy Soldier, and you can buy it with this caisson or ammunition. This was for their ammunition, and it had an extra wheel on the back. That's pretty cool. And then I'm not sure how this goes together, but there's 2 extra horses. You can have 6 horses pulling your cannon and caisson. I think it came with a figure that I dropped on the floor. I don't see it now. It's down. I'll find it when I step on it. By the way, I discovered that toy soldiers are no different than Legos. If you step on one barefoot in the morning or at night, it can hurt. The fence pieces, the original that I had in my set in 1961 was gray. They produced them in gray and also in a brown color. There was 2 different sculpts for the fence, one being a regular piece of fencing, and then the other piece was one that had been broken like this. Now, I was in a movie, I think it was direct-to-video kind of movie, about a vampire during the American Civil War, and I was playing a Confederate, and we were supposed to run towards a house and jump over the what do you call it? The balustrade, that surrounds the porch. And there was my friend Carl's brother Heath comes running up and leaps over the fence. He puts his hand on it and just leaps over effortlessly. And Iggy comes running up, stops, puts his foot on the bottom here, struggles to get his leg up over. I think I ruined the entire scene. Nobody said anything to me though, and I was right in the front of the shot. There's no way I hope they cut that out, because I looked like an old man struggling to get, and well, I wasn't that old. I was in my 40s, I guess. But I've never really been athletic, so even if I was 21, I wouldn't have been able to do what Heath did. He leaped over that fence like it was nothing, and I was like, I hope I don't fall down. I just don't want to get hurt, because my mom told me that we don't have any Band-Aids, and I can't get hurt. So I never saw the movie, by the way. It's somewhere out there, maybe on the internet. I don't know what it's called. Never seen it. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, this cannon and caisson. I really like it. The gun, of course, is much larger than this one here. Let me show you the difference. Let's put this over. What is this pen doing here? Oh, I remember. I balanced my checkbook. Look at the difference, guys. One looks like a toy compared to the other one. I really like this one up here. We have an ambulance wagon, and this I struggled with. I couldn't get this on without this popping off, and there's a barrel on the other side that would pop off. And I was struggling to see these pegs, they're supposed to line up. You can see the holes there. I couldn't get it to line up, and it kept coming off. Next thing was, okay, here's the driver's seat, and you can see that you slide this over the end of the wagon, but if you put this on, this will not fit. And then I found something on a sprue, this here, and I took this off and fit it on, and oh, now I know what fell. I had a figure sitting on there. What happened to him? He's gone. Oh, look. In case you need to do some stretcher exercising. My dad was going to be a medic during World War II, and they were getting ready to ship out to, I think, Sicily or North Africa or something like that. And my dad was in a lineup, and some officers came, and they said, anyone here an accountant? And my dad raises his hand. He said, okay, you come with us. And so my dad ended up throughout the war auditing government contracts with suppliers for the war effort. And the reason he wanted to become a medic is because he originally applied for a conscientious objector status. My father was very religious, and he didn't want to kill anyone. Nobody wants to kill anyone, but some people, because of their deep religious convictions. I'm not trying to say that if you were in combat, you don't have deep religious convictions. That's why so many soldiers came back with post-traumatic stress syndrome, because of the things that they had seen and done and were forced to do. And of course, if you didn't shoot the enemy would shoot you. So my dad was conscientious objector, and he decided to become a medic because he felt like he should do his duty. It's kind of reminiscent of that movie. What was it called? Oh, gee, I just saw it a couple months ago on DVD. It takes place on Okinawa. Only my father didn't go through all those horrific experiences. Luckily. Anyway, how did I get off on that story, guys? Did you know that my dad got a medal for donating more blood than anybody else during the war? He actually donated gallons and gallons of blood. Also, he stayed in the service when he could have gotten out because he wanted the guys that had been in combat to come home. And so he stayed in the service. I think he stayed until 1946. Now, something that you may have seen in a movie, which is completely inaccurate, is you see a fella getting wounded and he yells out, "Medic!" Well, that didn't exist during the Civil War. There was no such thing as a medic. I don't even think, like Navy corpsmen and stuff, I don't even think they came around until when was it, 1917? I don't know. I looked it up once. I can't remember now. But anyway, one of my ancestors was a nurse, medical orderly, I guess they called them. And he volunteered for that. And I think his brother or his cousin, I'm not sure which, died at Andersonville prison camp. Or what did they call it? Sumter? I'm not sure. Anyway, I went there with my brother and we found his name was Joseph Marlette. And it was kind of eerie to see that. He died of scurvy or scorbubus or whatever they called it. I can't remember now. I didn't know I was going to talk about all that stuff, so I should have looked it up. This siege mortar, I'm trying to figure out, does the mortar face this way or does it face that way? And I was looking at the Sears catalog illustrations and also illustrations from my Civil War book, and it's shown both ways. And I'm like, oh, great, now what? So I'm going to have to dig out some of my books and research that. If you go to Disneyland in California, not the one in Florida, you walk through the gates of Fort Wilderness. I think that's what it's called. Frontierland. It says Frontierland. And you walk through the gates, and if you look to your right, there's a tree in like a planter, and sitting next to it is a cannon that looks just like this one. And when I saw it for the first time, or noticed it for the first time, I was all excited. I said, oh my God, that's the Marx cannon. So that was kind of fun to see that there. You know, when you're not looking for stuff and find it, it's kind of, oh, look, I found it. I thought it fell on the floor. See how nicely he sits in there? Whereas the other one, he keeps falling off. So I'm not sure if I have it on there right. I'll show you the illustration I used to try and figure that out. Okay, of course, these are reproduction Marx harness horses. And we talked about the fence pieces. And we talked about extra, and the ammunition case. And I'm not going to say anything about this, because that's what you expect. Oh, look, there's a little medical bag. I didn't know what that was until I folded it. And I go, oh, look, it's a little Dr. McFeely medicine bag. And of course that table came with the ambulance as well. All right, so I told you I wanted to show you some pictures in this book. And before I get too far gone into different stories and things, which are not why you came to see the toys. Okay, now, here's the cannon and caisson. And here it is right up front. Look at that, guys. My hand is shaking. Let's do this. Isn't that cool? It's a great illustration, isn't it? Oh, I didn't show you my flag. I have a flag, too. I should have brought... Oh, well, it's too late. I think you've seen it before, though, about 160 videos ago or something. I showed it with a Ford Apache. I have a Confederate metal flag and a American metal flag. Okay, what else? I also marked some other pages that I wanted to show to you. So let's see what those are. Why did I mark this page? Oh, there's the siege mortar. And I couldn't tell by this photograph which way it was facing. This smaller mortar is much easier to, to figure out. It's a great photograph, isn't it? Look at everything they crammed in there. And plus the background is fabulous. The lighting is all good too. All right, I have one more picture to share with you. Well, I thought I did. What'd I do? Oh, here it is. Why did I want to show you this? It does show the cannon and caisson very nicely, doesn't it? That's a great cannon. I need to get some more of those. Oh, look, see, here it's the mortar, and they have it facing that way, whereas the other picture had it facing that way. So I don't know. I used to buy a lot of stuff from these people, but I don't know if they're still around anymore. Great picture. I would recommend this book to you guys. If you love the Marx Civil War set, you really need to get this book. Marx Civil War. It's produced by the editor of Playset magazine. And he also did all the photography for this. It's really good. I like it quite well. Some exciting photographs there. Oh, look, sunflowers. If this had sound effects, you would think it was real. Well, if you stared at it long enough. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope I didn't get too far off track with my stories. I think my next video, I'm going to show you some Marx horses. And I don't know why I have so many of them. I guess I kept buying them thinking that I needed them and forgot that I already bought them. So that's it for Iggy. Thank you for getting Iggy with it. If you enjoy seeing old, well, these aren't actually that old, are they? They're about 30 years old. But if you enjoy Marx playsets and G.I. Joe and Rocco mini tanks and Airfix and I don't know who else, Britain's Detail, Tempo 7th Cavalry and Crusaders, I try and feature those things as much as possible. I still have a lot to go before I'm finished. And it's fun. The more people we have that join up, the more fun it is. So let's all say goodbye for now. And if you're not feeling well, I'll send the ambulance wagon over. So let's head on out to Roy Rogers Ranch and have some baked beans and bacon and a piece of apple pie with a scoop of ice cream. Or maybe what we could do is go to the old Woolworth Steiner and have a hamburger and French fries and maybe a chocolate shake. Those were the days, guys. I remember the supermarket where my mom used to shop, which incidentally was right next to our 5 and Dime store, which was Woolworth's. We called it the 5 and Dime. They had a little grill inside the store, and I would always, and I mean always, get the same thing. I was 5 years old at the time, and I would always ask my mom if I could have a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. I think I ate so many of them I never asked for another one, because I would also, my parents on a special, like when Dad got paid, we would go to Bob's Big Boy, and they had the outdoor service, drive-up service, car hop. That's what I was looking for. And a girl wearing roller skates would come out of there, and then she'd hook a tray up to the side of your car, and I would get grilled ham and cheese sandwich. And ever since those days, I don't think I've had one. I probably should do it again, see if I still like it. Anyway, that was, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying goodbye.